A number of years ago, I've done training all around the United States and in Europe as well. And a number of years ago, I did some training out at the Sig Sauer Academy, New Hampshire. And Brett and I stayed in a really kind of bucolic town, Exeter, and really beautiful. And since I grew up and down on the East Coast in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and so forth, Maryland, I'm kind of used to the East Coast, even though I've been transplanted here since '76 in California. And so we go to this sleepy town. There's a bed and breakfast right in the main town square, and it looked like a movie set that you'd see from the 1920s, 30s, 40s. It was just very bucolic. Had a little little bandstand in the center and so forth, and all the homes are New England style, and just all these quaint little shops. Well, I do the class, and when we finish the class, Brett and I we're going to go out to Logan later on that night. So crash for the night, get up the next morning, and we're going to take our time going down. Want to see some other sites on the eastern seaboard, just kind of driving down until we get to Logan. And as we're driving down, we wake up in the morning, and there's a coffee shop directly across from us, a little kind of boutique coffee shop where the guys doing, making the coffee all by hand. And that's where I got coffee every morning before I went to the SIG Academy. Got picked up and driven out there. And so I go to pull up, and there are parking stalls, but it's a fairly small town. But there's off to the side, there's a sidewalk, and there's kind of blue diagonal paint, and there's also one solid blue paint line going in. So I look, okay, but there's enough area for me to park the car. So I come up, park the car, put the window down. I'm just kind of relaxing, shut off the engine. Brett walks in to get coffee. And I'm sitting there waiting, and I see this pickup truck pulls in, kind of high rate of speed, slams on the brakes, and this guy comes out and comes walking up to me, and it was pretty funny because he gets out, he's got a Sam Brown on, and it says on the back, police, I think Exeter Police, and it's got police on the back, and he comes walking up, and he's got these little string bean arms, he's got this pot belly, and he's got a Sam Brown on with no keepers, so the thing's hanging down, and I'm looking off to the side. He's older, that's for sure. Yeah, much older. And I have a 1911 in my waistband. And he comes walking up, and he goes, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, but we don't put up with this kind of hooliganism here in Exeter. Do you understand me?" And I'm used to the New England accent. I was like, oh, my God. And, when you get braced like that, there's a portion of you that wants to say, hey, LAPD, blah, blah, blah. I just, for whatever reason, decided I'm going to let this play out. This is too funny. And he starts launching into me with this long diatribe about how I'm probably one of the worst individuals that ever set foot or had the temerity to set foot into the town of Exeter. And he keeps on going on and on about how I'm a hooligan and we don't put up with this kind of hooliganism. I don't know who you think you are, but if you look down here, your cars, you got your tires on a blue paint. And I know what the hell you think you're doing, son. This is just absolutely, I don't know. It's just going on and pointing his finger at me. And I'm looking at him like, oh my God. Yeah, 3 feet away, 1911 in the waistband, and he's so tuned in to reading me the riot act, he doesn't see it. And so I had my hand over just because I thought, okay, this is the kind of guy, if he saw it, would probably flame out and frat me anyway. Going to light me up like a Christmas tree. Well, Brett comes out and gets in the car. And as she gets in the car with the 2 coffees, she sits in there. And, Brett's a very patient woman, and she likes to read the situation, so she gets in, sits down, and he's still going at me. He's still just, he's like, I'm just waiting for him to tune me up with a little baton, and little string bean arms, and I'm going, and it was funny, a little pot belly kind of flopping like this next to me. And I was like, oh, God, man, really? Brett gets in, and he goes, oh, sir, look, I told him to park here. Worst thing you could have said, because he leans in now and he goes, ma'am, am I talking to you? I'm talking to this hooligan right here. I'm not talking to you. You have nothing to do with this. Do you understand me? You just be quiet. You stay out of this. Do you understand? I go, yes, yeah. He goes, yes, officer, whatever. I don't think he even had a badge on. Maybe he was just, I don't know who he was. Anyway, so we spent the rest of the day driving around going, you hooligan. We don't put up with this kind of hooliganism in Exeter. So I don't know who the guy was from Exeter, but he was quite a character. Then didn't write me a citation or anything else. He just definitely wanted to give me a piece of his mind, and boy, did he ever. So Welcome to Exeter.